Students, I, Prashant Bhagwat, welcome all of you to our YouTube channel. In this video segment, I will focus on 1.2 article on saying please written by A.G. Gardiner. He highlights the value of good manners in our social life. The writer emphasizes the importance of courtesy and politeness in our daily behavior. Come, let's go and learn the essay. But before that, if you are new to our channel, subscribe the channel for more educational videos. The essay begins with an incident between a young liftman and a passenger. It was a matter of saying, please. The passenger entered the lift and said, top. The liftman demanded, top, please. That request was turned down and liftman threw out the passenger out of the lift. His action was wrong and he was fined for that offense. Discourtesy is not a legal offense, but no excuse for violence. If a burglar breaks into my house and I knock him down, I will not be punished. If there is a physical attack on me, the law will permit me to make an attack in return. There is no punishment in law for bad manners. The law doesn't permit to be violent against something which is not recognized as legally punishable offense. We would have sympathy to liftman, but we must admit that law is reasonable. We cannot physically punish anybody because we do not like their behavior or their tune while talking. I may be arrogant, proud, or bad mannered, but it would cost me no penalty. The law does not force me to say please. Nobody can tell me I have mustache or to dye my hair. The law does not compensate our broken feelings. There is no allowance for moral and intellectual damages. The liftman, who was more hurt as he thought that it was a blot socially than physical assault. A physical assault soon cures away, but the slap on self-respect may spoil our whole day. The liftman did not enjoy throwing away that man out of the lift. He would sadly think a lot about it whole day. He would have behaved rudely with his wife in the evening. There are few things more attracting than bad temper and bad manners. The writer says that people infect the world with ill humours. For example, the passenger was angry due to rude behavior of his boss. The boss was angry over his wife's rudeness. The boss's wife was rude because her cook behaved uncultured. The cook was furious over a housemaid's answering back to her. Bad manners poisons the general life more than crimes in a year. Different offenses could not be covered by Decalogue. No court could administer a law to control our social behavior and bad manners. Most people will have sympathy for the liftman, but we have to accept the judgment. No law compels us to say please. The older and sacred social practice instructs us to be civil. According to civility, we should acknowledge a service. Please and thank you are the little courtesies which helps us to live sweetly. They make our communication friendly. Instead of superiors dictating to inferiors. Writer A.G.Gardiner gives an example of a bus conductor. He says that bus conductors have to come through the ordeal of a very trying one. Some conductors treat passengers with aggressive manner and loud voice because they think that they are cheating them. But this type of conductors are rare. He praises the Underground Railway Company of London for the bus service as well as for keeping a certain standard of civility in its servants. It makes things pleasant for the passengers and also performs an important social service. One day, the writer jumped onto a bus and realized that he had no money in his pockets. Everyone has had the experience and mixed feeling of annoying at himself and looking like a fool. One would not be surprised if the conductor gives a cold gauge and says that it is a very old trick and orders to get off the bus. The writer searched his pockets in vain for coins. He told the conductor with honest face that he had no money and he had to go back for money. The conductor replied that it was okay and he need not to get off the bus. The writer insisted that he had no money, but the conductor said that he would pay for him and he gestured as if he would ticket him even up to Hong Kong. Later, writer asked him how he would repay it. Conductor replied that they would meet some day. But writer found coin of shilling in his pocket and he paid the amount of the ticket. This incident emphasizes the good nature and actions of the conductor. After a few days, the writer was traveling by bus and his sensitive toe was trampled heavily. He was angry and agonized, but he found the same cheerful conductor in front of him. The conductor spoke with regrets that those boots were heavy and he was using because his feet get trod many times. Actually, the writer was having pains, but he was again impressed by conductor's nice gesture and replied that he had no pains. After this incident, whenever writer boarded the bus, he found the conductor with same good nature. He had inexhaustible patience and always made the passengers comfortable. His behavior was warm and nice with all passengers. If there was any blind passenger, he would get down and help him to get on the pavements. The writer made opinion about him that the conductor teaches a lesson of natural courtesy and good manners in every journey. According to the writer, bad manners as well as good manners were infectious. People usually become uncivil if they encounter incivility. Poet Keats said that fine day cleared his spirit, like that cheerful person changes the environment for the gloomiest man like fine day. There was always fine weather on the polite conductor's bus. His friendly and good humored personality infected passengers. His cheerfulness was a great investment, which in turn connects him with good people. The writer missed the conductor from his bus route later, but he was sure that the conductor was carrying his cheerfulness and good manners onto another road. He offered no apology for writing the article on an unknown bus conductor. He mentioned William Wordsworth learning lessons of wisdom from poor leash-gatherer. He said that common people should take lessons from lesser known people about good temper and kindly feeling. The war has had affected everyday civilities of behavior. The civilities must be restored to make life kindly and tolerable for each other. The policeman is a necessary symbol and law is a necessary institution, but the law can only protect us against material attack. According to the writer, the liftman would have more effective revenge if he had treated the passenger with elaborate politeness. It would be a victory over the insensitive person as well as over himself. The polite man has always the spiritual victory. The writer gives another example of Lord Chesterfield. In his times, London streets did not have pavements but had a wall-like structure for walkers which would keep them dry. One day, Chesterfield met a man who was using that wall. The man said that he never gave away to scoundrel. Lord Chesterfield calmly said that he always gave away. He didn't use the word scoundrel, but revenge act was completed. So the writer hoped that the liftman would agree that Chesterfield's revenge was much more sweet without behaving non-cultured. Thank you all, but I would like to again remember you subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for many more educational videos.